Mataji, I've joined in with my iPad. My name is Bharat.
Hare Krishna. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 10, Text 1. Chapter entitled Divisions of the Creation.
Mataji, invocation as well, please. Thank you.
Vidurvacha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Next one. Vidurvacha Antarhite Bhagavati Brahmaloka Pitamaha Prajasasarja Kathida Dehikir Manasir Vibhu.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Sri Vidur said, O great sage, please let me know how Brahma, the grandfather of the planetary inhabitants, created the bodies of the living entities from his own body and mine after the disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Vrinda Devi Mataji. Hare Krishna, Vrinda Devi Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear the recitation, the
Mataji
English
did.
translation. So
Mataji did. Yeah, Mataji did, Mataji.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry, my volume is low. Okay, text 2. Ye cha me bhagavan prishtastvayartha bahuvittama tan vadasvanupurvyena chindina sarvasamshayan.
O greatly learned one, kindly eradicate all my doubts and let me know of all that I have inquired from you from the beginning to the end.
Text 3. Sutta uvacha evam sanchoditastena ksatra kausharavir munihi pritah pratyahatan prashnan hridisthan atha bhargava.
Sutta Goswami said, O son of Bhrigu, the great sage Maitra Muni, thus hearing from Vidur, felt very much enlivened. Everything was in his heart, and thus he began to reply to the questions one after another.
Text 4. Maitreya uvacha virinchopi tatha chakre divyam varsha shatam tapaha atmanyatmanam aveshya yathaha bhagavanajaha.
The greatly learned sage Maitra said, O Vidur, Brahma thus engaged himself in penances for 100 celestial years, as advised by the personality of Godhead, and applied himself in devotional service to the Lord.
Text 5. Tadvilokyabja sambhuto vayuna yad adhishtitaha padmam mambhascha tatkala krita viryena kampitam.
Thereafter, Brahma saw that both the lotus on which he was situated and the water on which the lotus was growing were trembling due to a strong violent wind.
Text 6. Tapasa yedhamanena vidyaya chatma samsthaya vivridha vikyana balo nyapad vayum sahambhasa.
Long penance and transcendental knowledge of self-realization had matured Brahma in practical knowledge, and thus he drank the wind completely, along with the water.
Text 7. Tadvilokya viyadvyapi pushkaram yadadhishtitam anena lokan praglinan kalpitasmiti achintayat.
Thereafter he saw that the lotus on which he was situated was spread throughout the universe, and he contemplated how to create all the planets, which were previously merged into that very same lotus.
Text 8. Padmakosham tadavishya bhagavat karma choditaha ekam vyabhakshit urudha tridha bhavyam dvisaptadha.
Thus engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Brahma entered into the world of the lotus, and as it spread all over the universe, he divided it into 3 divisions of worlds, and later into 14 divisions.
Text 9. Etavan jivalokasya samsthabhedah samarhitah dharmasya yanimittasya vipakah parameshtyaso.
Lord Brahma is the most exalted personality in the universe because of his causeless devotional service unto the Lord in mature transcendental knowledge. He therefore created all the 14 planetary divisions for inhabitant by the different types of living entities.
Text 10. Viduruvacha yathatha bahurupasya hareradbhuta karmanah Kalakyam lakshanam brahman yatha varnayana prabho.
Vidur inquired from Maitreya, "O my Lord, O greatly learned sage, kindly describe eternal time, which is another form of the Supreme Lord, the wonderful actor. What are the symptoms of that eternal time? Please describe them to us in detail."
Text 11. Maitreya vacha gunavyati karakaro nirvishesho pratishtitaha purushastad upadanam atmanam leelaya srijat.
Maitreya said, eternal time is the primeval source of all the interactions of the 3 modes of material nature. It is unchangeable and limitless, and it works as the instrument of the Supreme Personality of Godhead for his pastimes in the material creation.
Text 12. Vishwam vai brahma tanmatram sansthitam Vishnumayaya Ishvarena parichinnam kalena vyaktamurtina.
The cosmic manifestation is separated from the Supreme Lord as the material energy by the means of Kal, which is the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Lord. It is situated as the objective manifestation of the Lord and under the influence of the same material energy of Vishnu.
Text 13. Yathedanim tathagre cha paschadyapi tad idrisham.
This cosmic manifestation is now. It was the same in the past, and it will continue in the same way in the future.
Text 14. Sargo nava vidhastasya prakrito vaikritastu yaha kaladravya gunairasya trividha pratisankramaha.
There are 9 different kinds of creations besides the one which naturally occurs due to the interaction of the modes. There are 3 kinds of annihilations due to eternal time, the material elements, and the quality of one's work.
Text 15. Adyastu mahata sargo guna vaishamyamatmanaha dvitiyastvahamo yatra dravya jnana kriyodeyaha.
Of the 9 creations, the The first one is the creation of the Mahatattva, or the sum total of the marginal ingredients, wherein the modes interact due to the presence of the Supreme Lord. In the second, the false ego is generated, in which the material ingredients, material knowledge, and material activities arise. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Oh, Hare Krishna, sorry. Struggling to come off mute. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. This looks very different to me. Yeah, thank you. So, sorry, my voice is still not as good. So I'm going to try and speak, and maybe a lot of you can help me today. So it'll do probably a little bit different. Maybe some of you can speak more and we can discuss. Share my screen. Chapter. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. Ashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yutapatakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam She He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं पाकमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम् वन्दमानं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम् Hare Krishna. Hey, so maybe I can ask someone to. We already recited these verses. They're small verses. I will try to recite. So we are starting a new chapter today. So we are on Canto 3, the status quo, and the chapter 10 entitled Divisions of the Creation. So you're going to start from the verse number 1, and we read 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 verses we'll get today. There are, I think, purport for only 3 verses of these 5 small purports. So you can try to go through them. And then I have some verses, related verses from Srimad Bhagavatam. Those we can go through and read the translation purport for those verses as well. So we are at 8 o'clock today. So we'll try to finish the talk by 7:30, and then we can take any questions. Hare Krishna. Vidura uvacha antarhite bhagavati brahma loka pitamaha praja sasarja katida dahikir manasir vibhu. Synonyms. Vidura uvacha, Sri Vidura said, antarhite, after the disappearance, Bhagavati, of the personality of Godhead, Brahma, the first created living being, Lokapitamaha, the grandfather of all planetary inhabitants, Prajaha, generations, Sasarja, created, Katidaha, how many, Katidaha, how many, Daihika, Daihikihi, from his body, Manasihi, from his mind, Vibhuhu, the great. Translation on by Srila Prabhupada. Sri Vidura said, O great sage, please let me know how Brahma, the grandfather of the planetary inhabitants, created the bodies of the living entities from his own body and mind after the disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is really interesting. It says, created the bodies of the living entities from his own body and mind after the disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Very mystical statement. I can only guess like that. I don't clearly understand. Does it mean that all the living entities, everything was created of Lord Brahma's body? There was some description like that in the previous chapters. The Lord, at one place, I think it was the Lord Brahma's body is made up of the whole of Mahatatva. So I'll try to get there if I can. ये च मे भगवान् सृष्टास्त्वयि अर्था बहुवित्तमः तान् वदस्वानुपूर्वेण छिन्देन सर्वसंशयान्. Translation and purport. We'll skip the synonyms for this. O greatly learned one, kindly eradicate all my doubts and let me know of all that I have inquired from you from the beginning to the end. So this is continuation with Vidura asking questions to Sri Maitreya. We've been discussing this for last few chapters. After the initial discussion between Vidura and Uddhava asking Vidura to take the or seek answers to his questions or take association of Maitreya Rishi. Vidura continued on to meet Maitreya, I think at Hardwar, and Uddhav went ahead for his journey to Padrika. And then Vidura meets Maitreya and he starts to inquire. Number of questions are being asked about the primary creation, which is creation by the Lord, secondary creation, which is further creation or embodiment or shaping by Lord Brahma himself. In the 5th chapter as well, in the 7th chapter, the number of questions are asked. Now Vidura is once again asking the question, eradicate all my doubts and let me know what I've inquired from you from the beginning to the end. Reminding. And then Suta Uvacha. It's interesting that the conversation was going on between Shukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj previously. And now Suta Goswami has come in because originally we know the setting of Srimad Bhagavatam is Suta speaking to Shaunaka Adi Rishis. Translation. Sorry. Evam sanchoditastena chatra kaushar virmuni प्रीतः प्रत्याहतान् प्रश्नान् युधिष्ठानथ भार्गवः. So this is son of Bhrigu saying. Synonym Sutta Uvacha. Sutta Goswami said, even this Sanchodita being enlivened tena by him, Kshatra by Vidura, Kausharvi, the son of Kushar, Munihi, the great sage, Pritaha being pleased, Pratyah replied, Tan those Prashnan questions Hidisthan from the core of his heart, Atha thus Bhargava, O son of Bhrigu. Sutta Goswami said, O son of Bhrigu, the great sage Maitreya Muni, thus hearing from Vidur, felt very much enlivened. Everything was in his heart, and thus he began to reply to the question one after another. So everything was in his heart. So number of questions were asked by Vidur. But it's not that Maitreya Muni had forgotten those questions. He had all those questions with his heart. Sorry. Yes, feedback. Okay. The phrase Sutta Uvacha, Sutta Goswami said, appears to indicate a break in the discourse between Maharaj Parikshit and Shukadeva Goswami. While Shukadeva Goswami was speaking to Maharaj Parikshit, Sutta Goswami was only one member of a large audience. But Sutta Goswami was speaking to the sages of Naimisharanya, headed by the sage Saunaka, a descendant of Shukadeva Goswami. This, however, does not make any substantial difference in topics under discussion. So Prabhupada just clarifying so that we don't get confused. Verse number 4, Maitra Uvacha Varinchopi Tatha Chakre Devyam Varsha Shatam Tapah Atmane Atmanam Avesha Yatha Bhagavan Ajah. Translation by Prabhupada. Translation. The greatly learned sage Maitreya said, O Vidur, Brahma thus engaged himself in penance for 100 celestial years, as advised by the personality of Godhead, and applied himself in devotional service to the Lord. Purport. That Brahma engaged himself for the personality of Godhead, Narayan, means that he engaged himself in the service of the Lord. That is the highest penance one can perform for any number of years. There is no retirement from such service, which is eternal and ever encouraging. Rama makes a very interesting point about retirement. So, most people in this world, I mean, at least in the more in the service industry where people are employed by another employer or something like that, they're looking forward to retirement. So one day they will retire, they start to get pension, they can start to live an easy life, they can chill out. But Srila Prabhupada says there is no retirement in this service. This service is performed, for the any number of years. This service can be performed for any number of years. So Srila Prabhupada himself started the journey from India, Kolkata to US at the age of 70. And at that age, he was, translating, preaching, making temples, traveling so much. Like, not the fittest, youngest person can do what he did at that age. Who can challenge that? This is Srila Prabhupada's compassion. So there's no retirement. Anyone would like to share anything about this? Anyone feel like retirement? Come on, you can participate a little bit.
I can't see your screen.
You can't.
No. Is it just me or everybody?
Just now it paused, it was always paused.
Always. Yeah.
I don't know what happened. This new things keep coming up.
I was thinking it's mine could be,
Oh,
not, but it's not mine. It's my side.
struggle with this new version. What is this? Yeah, shit. Oh, that's a shame, sir. I think I don't know if we should restart.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
was only reading through the purpose. Hopefully, if you are, in front of your own
Sorry.
screen, you should be able to see.
Sorry about that. Thank
Sorry,
you.
my voice is not clear either, probably. So please excuse me.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Thank you.
Okay, so I don't know where to start then. Oh, someone mentioned the chat. That's good. Okay, so actually what I had was trying to download what to do that. So the chapter summary as well, this whole division of this chapter, how it's divided into different sections. You could have gone through that. So we were talking about retirement. So there's no retirement in this service to Lord Shri Krishna. Brahmaji engaged himself in penance for 100 years, celestial years, not 100 years, celestial years. Who can do that kind of tapasya? Only Lord Brahma can do. So we have verse number 3. Sorry, we have verse number 4 already. Verse number 5. A little bit of purport here. Tad vilokyabja sambhuto vayunayat adhishtitah padmam ambhasya tatkala ritaviryena kampitam. Translation. Thereafter, Brahma saw that both the lotus on which he was situated and the water on which the lotus was growing were trembling due to a strong, violent wind. Purport. The material world is called illusory because it is a place of forgetfulness of the transcendental service of the Lord. Thus, one engaged in the Lord's devotional service in the material world may sometimes be very much disturbed by awkward circumstances. There is a declaration of war between the two parties, the illusory energy and the devotee, and sometimes the weak devotees fall victim to the onslaught of the powerful illusory energy. Lord Brahma, however, was sufficiently strong by the causeless mercy of the Lord, and he could not be victimized by the material energy, although it gave him cause for anxiety when it managed to totter the existence of his position. That's an interesting word. I had to look for a totter, and I'm like shaking up his own existence of his position. So this is this is interesting. Maybe we can discuss. Anyway, so Lord Brahma is now, he's now seated, he's performing his tapasya penances. Now he's experiencing this trembling. So once again, we read before in the 9th chapter, there was, this water devastation, and he was seeing all that. And now once again, after tapasya, after the penances of 100 celestial years, while he's sitting on a lotus, he can experience same trembling. Srila Prabhupada, wonderfully explains here. How do we relate? The thing is, with the help of Srila Prabhupada's purport, what can happen is, otherwise, if we don't have the purport, we'll be so lost. Okay, we can take this at the face value. Okay, so he was sitting on a lotus, and then again there was trembling due to a strong violent wind. Srila Prabhupada applied, now say, how do we apply this in our own lives? What does it really mean to us? So Prabhupada brings that, what can happen to devotees as well. Yeah, so because this devotees, we're all practicing devotees. Yeah, so the moment we start to, we take the vows and we to chant number of rounds, to follow all the regulative principles. We in the association of devotees, we follow those certain rules, do's and don'ts. Then what we're really doing is we're declaring a war. Yeah, I mean, we are so insignificant if we see that. So we are so insignificant compared to Krishna's own Maya Shakti. Yeah, we are so insignificant. But even then, we say we're declaring a war. Prabhupada says devotees declare a war. Yeah. So there is a declaration of war between the two parties, the illusory energy, which is the Maya Shakti, and the devotee. And sometimes the weak devotees fall victim to the onslaught of the powerful illusory energy. This can be applied at various levels for various, practicing devotees or sadhakas like us. We can be at any level, all levels, we can experience that challenge in a strong force of Maya. It's very difficult, it's very subtle. Just like we say, if there is small creek or crack in the wall, the water can, crack through the dam. It's like, or a big wall, it can crack through. Only a small gap it needs. The force of water is so much. Yeah, it can crack anything, strong walls. Similarly, a small distraction from the practice of sadhana bhakti that we've been given by the acharyas is very important. We'll discuss about these two things. One is why parampara, because this is a big question sometime. Okay, some of us may be able to relate to this. Maybe we're experiencing these types of conversation, like why to follow this, why not something else? Or I'm hearing this guru, I'm hearing from there on YouTube here. My friends send me WhatsApp messages. They are very nice. Every morning I get 50 different messages from here and there. They're all very nice. Yeah. But then what happens there is we're trying to hear from various sources, and this is the new world of social media, WhatsApp. This is a great source of all that distraction, and we're not able to focus on the clear message of the acharyas. That is a big, huge challenge I see, for so many. Yeah, for including myself. Yeah, but we need to stay focused on the words of acharyas, the words of Srimad Bhagavatam, the words of Sri Krishna, which is so important. Otherwise, Maya is so strong. We're already weak. Prabhupada says weak devotees. And then the distraction even further, further takes away whatever little energy we have to fight against Maya. So, what are the options we have? What solution do we have? We talk about this. Other thing I was thinking is, what are the different types of, onslaughts that we can experience? And this very famous verse from Prahlad Maharaj. It says, Shri Prahlad Vacha in 7th canto, 5th chapter, verse number 30. It's a little bit longer purport, but it's really relevant to why problem can happen. Shri Prahlad Vacha Matirna Krishne Parata Satova Metho Vipadyeta Griha Vritanam Adhanta gobe vishkatam tamishram puna punascharvita charvananam. Prahlad Maharaj said, because of their uncontrolled senses, person too addicted to materialistic life make progress towards hellish conditions, repeatedly chew that has already been chewed. Their inclinations toward Krishna are never aroused, either by the instruction of others, by their own efforts, or by a combination of both. It's a bit stronger verse, a stronger statement from Prahlad Maharaj. So Prabhupada makes some interesting points. In this verse, word Matir na Krishna refer to devotional service rendered to Krishna. So-called politicians, erudite scholars and philosophers who read Bhagavad Gita try to twist some meaning from it to suit their material purposes, but their misunderstanding of Krishna will not yield them any profit. Because such politicians, philosophers, scholars are interested in using Bhagavad Gita as a vehicle for adjusting things materially, for them, constant thought of Krishna or Krishna consciousness is impossible. Matir na Krishna. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. Only through devotional service one can understand Krishna as he is. The so-called politicians and scholars think of Krishna as fictitious. And this is the problem I was citing before. When we are reading some random messages or some, maybe some, good voice sometimes, very nice way of presenting something, but the message is not clean. So they may be called erudite scholars, or they may be philosophers, but they cannot get any understanding of Krishna. Because why? Only bhaktya mama bijanati. Because there is no bhakti. Bhakti means there is no motivation, exterior motivation towards getting something out of Krishna. Something for the self, and we can ask Krishna, for anything that we can use for his service. But for our own benefits, to get some name, fame, money, all those materialistic, treasures, that cannot, if we speak those words with that intention, that cannot give bhakti to anyone. There cannot be of any benefit to anyone. This is the problem with this. The so-called speakers like politicians, scholars, philosophers, who are not inclined toward bhakti of Sri Krishna. And that's why we need to, we're just taking our own context. That's why we need to be so careful who we are hearing from. It's very important who we are, because life is very short. There is not a lot of time to keep hearing from different places and get confused, even more confused. Sometimes Keshav Maharaj says that about the t-shirt, please do not disturb. I'm already disturbed. So we're already disturbed, and we're getting further disturbed by all this, fictitious preaching. The politician says that his Krishna is different from the Krishna depicted in Bhagavad Gita. We will see a lot of people say, I think like that, I believe this way, I am thinking this way. Everyone has their own ideas about the philosophy, is about God, about Krishna. Everyone have their own, ideas, but it has probably nothing to do with the real message. So these people, even though he accepts Ram, Krishna, Ram as supreme, he thinks of Ram, Krishna as impersonal because he has no idea of service to Krishna. So we know there's some politician Prabhupada is referring to here. Thus his only business is punah charvita charvananam, chewing the chewed again and again. The aim of such politician, academic scholars is to enjoy this material world with their bodily senses. Therefore, it is clearly stated here that those who are grihavrata, whose only aim is to live comfortably with the body in the material world, cannot understand Krishna. The two expressions, grihavrata and charvita charvananam, indicate that a materialistic person tries to enjoy some gratification in different bodily forms, life after life, but is still unsatisfied. Prabhupada course was Bhogeshwara Saktanam Taya Prasachetasam Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Samadhoda Vidhiyate. This is the word Vyavasayatmika. Srila Prabhupada, was asked what is the secret of his success. Which verse did he quote? Anyone? From Bhagavad Gita. Very similar. This word using Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Ekeha Kurunandana Bhushaka Vinantasya Buddhayo Vyavasayinam. Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Ekeha Kurunandana. Single focus. That's why we say single focus. And hearing the Krishna's message, hearing from the right source, hearing from the right book. And we only, Prabhupada described only 3 books: Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. These are 3 jewels, 3 books that we should be reading and just meditating on. There's no need to hear various different scriptures here, there, and also not authenticated or in parampara, in bona fide lineage of acharyas. So anyone would like to ask any question on this one? On this aspect, do you experience this issue, or you have some thoughts that you agree or disagree? No, sorry.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
I just want to more understand about chewing the chewed again and again. What's that mean?
Yeah. Chewed, like this is the thing. It's very commonly used by Prabhupada. So this is the context Prabhupada makes many times, like this material life, all this so-called material body pleasures. How many lives we have already lived? How many times we have chewed the same thing? Yeah. Things are already chewed, we're chewing. There's nothing new in this material world, really. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. That's all is going on, right from the highest loka of the heavenly planets down to the lower planets. That's what's happening. People are just doing the same thing: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Different bodies, different yugas, different manvantaras. How many lifetimes is the same thing? And it could be sometimes gross, sometimes it could be subtle. Yeah, subtle is, I remember, like pride, adoration, and distinction. Even if after a certain age, the bodily demands start to decrease, but then what remains still is the desire the pride remains. Yeah, I am someone great, I am from high birth, or I know a lot, or I am beautiful, I have money, this and that. Whatever opulence one may believe that they have. And then the other subtle chewing adoration. We all want to be adored by everyone. You walk around and people should look at me, they should like me, how wonderful I am. Yeah. And distinction. Distinction means I should be distinct from everyone. So I can say something, or I can act in a way, or I'm different. A lot of people I laugh when people say that I'm so different. People say everyone is unique, definitely. From Krishna's perspective, we're all different, and for his enjoyment, over people, I take a lot of pride in how I can be so distinct. This is all the chewing the chewed again and again. We're just making the same mistakes.
Oh, so same thing is happening again and
Same
again.
thing happening.
Oh,
Different body, different thing. I can go through this. Prabhupada uses this verse a lot.
yeah.
Yeah. This is, but from the context that we're talking about, this is more in terms of, all this, be careful of hearing from the right source, using our time and, hearing, speaking is like chastity. Prabhupada uses the word also chastity. Always chaste to the parampara, to Krishna. That's huge, very important. If you maintain the chastity of of our senses only used for Krishna, that's when the devotion starts to come in. It's very important.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Then the other verse I was going to discuss is, since now, I don't know if anyone else would like to share anything. Please don't be shy. The thing with this is like, I can't see anyone. I don't know anyone. I mean, hardly know a few of you. I don't know who's listening, not listening. It's very tricky, this Zoom. Yeah, I have absolutely zero idea. So this is really very.
It's nice to hear from you anyway, Prabhuji. We can see you.
Yeah, this is the thing. You can see me back and say, I don't know anyone. Sometimes somebody would admit, oh, I'm hearing a class. Okay, I don't know. All I can see is some IPDA.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Yes, now sometimes we get some genuine, we think that we may have heard from the lectures of Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, and there are other, what I would say, people from other organizations, and they say about the similar things, so we can identify that yes, these things are true. So we should we not be listening to these stories as well when we think that this can be true?
This is like, if you are like, this is the thing, if we have read all the three books thoroughly, Prabhupada's, the big books that Prabhupada has given us, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Keshamara sometimes, I think, says maybe after the third read is when you really start reading. We read these books a few times, and we have developed enough discernment, like discerning, like ability to discriminate between what is the right message or not right message we should avoid. That is, and then there is so much to hear from Prabhupada himself and the parampara that we have. That is better to be within that.
Yeah.
There is no scarcity of hearing. That if you go to ISKCON Desire Tree, there's a website called audio.iskondesiretree.com. There are like millions of lectures there, millions, you can see. So what we normally do is, okay, we go to this, for example, if we go to, now we're reading the third canto, 10th chapter, we can go to, the Desire Tree, or we can, there's the links, other links also from the other, speakers, Maharajas and devotees, senior devotees speaking about this chapter. We keep reading, hearing, keep reading Srila Prabhupada's purports. There is so much in it. There is no time. We get any time left after that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Better than that.
Yeah.
There's a danger, Mata. The only thing is there's a danger that we don't know. Sometimes we don't know what is the message. And little bit of, contamination in food is enough to destroy our digestion.
Yes.
I'm saying that I'm just coming from India and I'm struggling for 1 month to get the right digestion. So a little bit of contamination here and there, that's enough.
Yeah.
But there is no time. And we are already, weak devotees. We're, trying to perfect our life in a very short period, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Very nice reply.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Then there is wonderful, so that was a bit hard, strong statement from Prahlad Maharaj. But there is this also beautiful verse from 10th canto, 2nd chapter, 31. Please, someone can read the translation. Purport also, if possible. My voice is going slowly, I can feel it. Sorry. Can someone see the screen and read?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
So it's the translation and the purport. Yes, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. O Lord, who resemble the shining sun, you are always ready to fulfill the desire of your devotee, and therefore you are known as the desire tree, Vancha Kalpataru. When acharyas completely take shelter under your lotus feet in order to cross the fierce ocean of nescience, they leave behind on earth the method by which they cross. And because you are very merciful to your devotees, you accept this method to help them. Purport: this statement reveals how the merciful acharyas and the merciful Supreme Personality of Godhead together help the serious devotee who wants to return home back to Godhead. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his teachings to Rupa Goswami, said, Brahmananda, Brahmamite, Kona, Bhagavan Jiva, Guru Krishna Prasade, Paya Bhakti, Lata Bija. This is from the Chaitanya Chaitamrita Madhya 19.151. One can achieve the seed of Bhakti Lata, the devotional service, by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. The duty of the Guru is to find the means, according to the time, the circumstances, and the candidate, by which one can be induced to render devotional service, which Krishna accepts from a candidate who wants to be successful in going back home, back to Godhead. After wandering throughout the universe, a fortunate person within this material world seeks shelter of such a guru or acharya who trains the devotee in the suitable ways to render service according to the circumstances, so that the Supreme Personality of Godhead will accept the service. This makes it easier for the candidate to reach the ultimate destination. The acharya's duty, therefore, is to find the means by which devotees may render service according to references from Shastra. Rupa Goswami, for example, in order to help subsequent devotees, published such devotional books as Bhakti Rasamitra Sindhu. Thus, it is the duty of the Acharya to publish books that will help future candidates take up the method of service and become eligible to return home, back to Godhead, by the mercy of the Lord. In our Krishna conscious movement, this same path is being prescribed and followed. Thus, the devotees have been advised to refrain from 4 sinful activities: illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling, and to chant 16 rounds a day. These are bona fide instructions. Because in the Western countries, constant chanting is not possible, one should not artificially imitate Haridas Thakura, but should follow this method. Krishna will accept a devotee who strictly follows the regulative principles and the method prescribed in the various books and literatures published by the authorities. The Acharya gives a suitable method for crossing the ocean of nescience by accepting the boat of the Lord's lotus feet. But if this method is strictly followed, the followers will ultimately reach the destination by the grace of the Lord. This method is called Acharya Sampradaya. It is therefore said, Sampradaya Vihina Ye Mantras Te Nishphala Matha, Padma Purana. The Acharya Sampradaya is strictly bona fide. Therefore, one must accept the Acharya Sampradaya, otherwise one's endeavor will be futile. Srila Narottam Das Thakura therefore sings, Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanevasa Janame Haya He Abhilasha. One must worship the lotus feet of the Acharyas and live within the society of devotees. Then one's endeavor to cross over Nishyans will surely be successful. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Madam. So nicely you read. So this is it. Simple process. We're talking about chastity and how to, sustain this onslaught of this winds. And I know we were reading before in 3:10:5. Growing but trembling due to a strong, violent wind. So this material world, there is this constant, strong, violent wind. But look at the mercy of the Lord and his devotees, pure devotees. So this statement shows how merciful Acharyas and merciful Supreme Personality of Godhead together help the serious devotee who wants to return home back to God. This is all. All that we need is really so assuring that all that we need is a seriousness, a little seriousness. It doesn't say a little, it says serious devotee. But little, I'm sure we can start little and then always start small and take it, become serious and serious. And be sincere devotees. Sincere devotee means just follow the process. But the process is already given. This is the role of Acharya. Yeah? The Acharya's duty, therefore, is to find the means by which devotee may render service according to reference from Shastra. As Srila Prabhupada has made all these temples, he traveled at that advanced age all over the world, opening so many centers, so many temples, creating so many devotees. So what he did was he created a facility for all of us, not just at that time. Now it's already like 50 years since Prabhupada left us, and now it's not still, it's actually growing. I mean, that facility is just growing so much. So much approved by Krishna himself. It's making the facility by Mahaprabhu. He's making, Prabhupada made us, Mahaprabhu's words accessible, and Srimad Bhagavatam accessible, Bhagavad Gita accessible. This is what he did. So this is what the Acharyas do. He says, yeah. Rupa Goswami example, in order to help subsequent devotees publish such devotional books as Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. That is the duty of the Acharya, to publish books that will help future candidates take up the method of service and become eligible to return home back to Godhead. See, everything is in this book, isn't it? If we didn't have access to this book, what would we understand? Even if we had the Bhagavatam, we can say the verses are still the same. But how Prabhupada has made it accessible as per time, place, and circumstance, he says there, right? As per time, place, and circumstance. He makes it, what is good for us? Like, you go to a doctor. It was more relevant in the old days when you go to, the Vaidyas. I don't know if anyone has experienced Ayurveda, and they would have different colors of medicine, some red, some yellow, whatever, different colors. And they would mix and this and this, and then they will give you the medicine then and there. Say what the symptoms are. They will check on the nadi, the nerve, and they will understand themselves like what this problem, what this person is going through, what disease this person has, and they make the medicine and they give according to the individuals. So Srila Prabhupada, understanding the current situation, coming to the West, so relevant for people like, we are in the West, so much relevant for us, understanding what is our situation, what would work best with us, what medicine do we need. He has put all those medicine. These are the medicine in the books, all his words. Just need to read here. And that's all we need. That's, solve our disease of material life. It's just refined it, made it so accessible. One Prabhupada disciple was, we were discussing one time, he said, what is, there's so many acharyas written, commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam. How Prabhupada is different. It's like, for us, he's made it accessible. For us, he made it so easier to understand in our language, making it more, relevant for the time, relatable for us in simple language. Yeah, this is the beauty. And then other important thing we're saying is Acharya Sampradaya has to be strictly bona fide. Bona fide. I mean, the mercy coming from the Lord himself directly, just like it says, like this bhakti, what devotee was explaining, is like a ripened fruit, right? We read in the first kind of first chapter itself. This is a ripened fruit. And how it is passed, and like, I don't know if anyone knows how the mangoes are taken out. Mangoes are so ripened on the tree. To get the right quality, sometimes these days they just take the green mangoes and they ripen outside the tree. But the sweetest mangoes are that they ripen on the tree. And then there will be, someone sitting at the top of the branch. There will be somewhere next branch, and they will, slowly hand over the fruit, taking from the tree to the next person, to the next person, to the next person, like that. Very carefully. So that this is how the parampara works. It's the same coming from the source itself, Sri Krishna himself, coming to Lord Brahma, and then from him coming to Narada Muni, to Vyasadeva, Sukadeva Goswami, and like that. Now it's here, and Mahaprabhu, some Mahaprabhus, coming all the way down to Srila Prabhupada and the other devotees and Maharas. This is very carefully handed over. To why? To retain the sweetness and then also not drop the fruit here and there. So we receive that knowledge straight away. This is how it's sweetened. And this is how it becomes the same knowledge, same fruit that's being passed over. If you're not in the sampradaya, the point I was trying to make before, hearing from here, hearing from there, this, that, other, we don't get anywhere. It just becomes distraction, and in the end we get confused because the knowledge could be so vast. It has to be presented. It's like medicine, right? There's so many medicine in the world, so many different herbs, but we have to be given the right medicine. That's what Prabhupada is giving us. My voice is going now. Sorry, Sorry, Hare Krishna. Thank you, devotees. It's already 9:15. I think people are dropping off. Thank you so much. Any questions? We can take 3 more minutes, or we can call it a day. That was the humble presentation. Thank you so much for bearing with me. And please excuse me if anything was wrong. It was for my own purification. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। वंशा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you.